Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. Enjoy your day off if you have your day off. If not, when it's your Saturday, enjoy your Saturday. Today, we're busting out the H series again. We're going to go ahead and install the oil pump. I gotta make a little video. What we got here is the rooster tail from 4-piston. If you haven't got one of those, these are awesome. You can put these on your crankshaft, and when you put your oil pump on, it helps guide right past it, so there's no binding. Make sure that that seal is perfectly on your crank. So yeah, let's get it together. Don't forget the O-rings. You will be kicking yourself later if you don't put those on, so make sure you put those on. There's a little burr. We're going to take care of that. When I first went to put the rooster tail on, if you look right here, it had just a little bit of a gouge in it, and what was happening is where the keyway sits on the crank, it had just a little bit of a bump. So I took a file, don't know if this is the correct way, this is the way I did it. I took the file and I just lightly, no pressure at all, just kind of a super fine file, and took it right off. And now we can set this on the crank, and it'll be good to go. Okay, there's a total of 9 bolts, 10 with the stud. I believe the stud is this guy right here. So yeah, let's go get those 9 bolts, get them all cleaned up, and we'll put the oil pump on. So I'm about to put the oil pump on, and like I said, we're going to go get the bolts. And upon doing so, I was just going to stop and briefly remind you real quick. Remember when I told you guys to label everything, all the bolts that you take off, and just put it in a baggie? Well, front seal, oil pump, same, but this has everything in it. All my bolts and the gear. Bam, let's put it together. All right, we got all the bolts cleaned up. As you can see there, the threads are nice and clean. So now, you can go ahead and put the good old Honda bone down here. And we're going to do all the perimeter of where it's going to touch against the block. Right here, boom. Make sure both surfaces are cleaned. I did go through and scrape them. I will make sure one more time. That we get the surface nice and dry and clean. Don't matter how many times you clean it, it's still gonna have a little dirt in it. The block was pretty good. I didn't have to touch it much. Northwest Machine Shop did a good job cleaning the block up when it was there. So yeah, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. All right, there it comes. What I like to do, you don't have to, I'm gonna put my finger in it and kind of just give it just some little bit of swirls, back and forth, making sure I don't stop trying to get all the air bubbles out. I know there's mixed emotions about that. Some people say you don't need to. Some you said you do. I've done it. A good buddy of mine who's no longer here with us, but he told me to do it, and so I'm gonna do it. I've done it since he taught me that little trick. And matter of fact, it was a 49 Chevy at the time, and what I had was a problem with the thermostat gasket. And what he told me was that, how did I apply my RTV? Well, I showed him how I did it, and he says, well, no, you're supposed to, get the air bubbles out. And I didn't know that. So he showed me, and guess what? We redid it and no leaks. I had what did I have in there? I had a 74 inline 6 out of a Chevy Nova. I might have a little excessive here and there on these. On some of these. That's all right. I'm just going back and forth, making sure not to stop. Let's take this over to the motor. There we go, like a glove. If you just put it on right. Now, if I can remember where all this went. So I went ahead and got some driven racing oil. That's what I'll be running in the car. Okay, we're gonna start. Okay, see that slides right off. Be sure, one last note, make sure you turn your block over and clean that surface because that Honda Bond will stick later. So clean that. So it's got a nice surface there. We're on to the next step. All right, well there you have it. We got all the torque specs down. Everything is torqued into place. And as you can see, the rooster tail comes right off from 4-piston. This thing is awesome. If you don't have one, get one because it just made it slide right on. If I wouldn't have had that, it wouldn't have slid on as easy as I did. It took me a bit to get it on the first time. I didn't have my dowel lined up and needed to straighten it out. So got it back on there, put it on, everything went on there smooth, got everything torqued, and we're off to the next step. One step closer.